committed to provide solutions or say in terms of research or answers to the problems faced by people, and those solutions would be adopted by the policymakers, and it will help to improve the research culture in India. With that, I wish you made very big success, and we are committed up to you. I'm very proud that we're having this event, and which would be very meaningful and which will be able to, if not shape, if not change, at least contribute towards some meaningful progress in terms of research in India. I wish the company once again all the very best. Good luck. Thank you. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your insightful views. They were really complete in all aspects. I think what we need to do as industry, what we need to do as university, and I think there was some wonderful input to all of us. Friends, in the words of Sri Rahul Karad, he always says Osama bin Laden was also an engineer, and we also produce engineers. It is important that engineers serve, or engineers or people in, whether it is design or engineers or students, or whether they are liberal arts students, they need to serve the future generation of mankind and innovate for the well-being of humans. And innovation is not limited to a country, it is not limited to a sector, it is not limited. We need to see innovations happening in almost every sector. Friends, it's my honor and privilege to invite the speaker for the day, Mr. Jayanta Dev, and I want to share a little bit about him before I invite him to speak to all of us. Mr. Dev is a 1977 pass out of the MTech from IIT Kanpur. He's a IIT Kanpur alumni, and started to what we see the modern small cars in the country. The first ever work that he started in 1978 around that time. And I think the first prototype, while he was working with Telco as a postgraduate trainee engineer, I think that's the time they developed this prototype, and it was presented in the Auto Expo in 79 or 80, whatever that year was. The Auto Expo happens every alternate year. That vehicle was seen by Mr. Sumat, the chairman of Tata Motors, Inaugural. He saw the small little vehicle moving in a large factory where all large prototype, and it was presented. And when he saw that small little vehicle being used over there for prototype, he called the innovation director and asked him, what is happening here? He said, we are trying to develop a small prototype. And Mr. Sumit Murgaonkar called these three gentlemen who are working, and one among these three chairmen of Friends who made history in the country of small vehicles is amongst us. I will also share a little more beyond this. From there, Mr. Sumit Murgaonkar went on to become a dominant chairman of and he had a small dream of making a small vehicle. Suzuki also won, but at that time the Prime Minister stick to or the Tata Mobile and the they wanted to focus on the came back to English. He said, guys, I need a lot of this focus on making the first commercial and the project again got to the responsibility to develop it. So it's a matter of pride that we have a gentleman here. Not only there, it didn't end there. When Mahindra and Mahindra wanted to create the Bolero and the Scorpio, the modern generation SUV of the country, and he joined there.
The Windows switch.
So he continues to develop. At the age of 50, he decided to retire. He retired and their ex-boss from General Motors invited him into NG Hector to develop another vehicle. Even today, post-retirement, he is the chief technology officer. He is the chief technology officer of Joint
The Windows
SUV that we see. He's very passionate and passionate to hear how he worked on the suspension of that vehicle. Also, smaller expense and
अबे ये वाली लेना
connected to people, and people should feel comfortable using that vehicle. Research and development that went into making the vehicle finer and finer. And innovation doesn't happen one day. It's a series of work that has finally achieved. Here's a man who just doesn't seem to stop. He just continues to innovate and with us comfortably. Welcome. Thank you very much, sir. I know you had a meeting with customers across the board today. Postponed that meeting for us. Thank you very much. Series of welcome from you and enlighten us. Here's a man who just
Thank you, Praveen.
stop.
You have given whatever introduction about me. I mean, it is too much about me. Actually speaking, in any product development, it is not one man. It is a whole team work. So I was one of those team members, and luckily I was always been in that situation and a time when the product just stuck. So that is how I got involved in new products, and then once you get that taste, you continue to do that. That's how I have been always in product development. Few things I would like to correct, and it is MG Motors, and Hector is one of the products. So I am in MG Motor, and Hector, after that ZSEV, electric vehicle, then Gloucester. These are the product names. So I am the CTO of that. Let me first of all give my feeling. I will just give an example, because I just came to know yesterday, so I just couldn't make any plan of this particular discussion. I would say after 42 years, I am in a team who are rooted in universities, vice chancellor, professors. So I never get this opportunity. But in various committees, you have one professor or two with whom I normally discuss. Please bear with me. I would like to share some of my experiences which may be relevant to what we are actually discussing. When I was in IIT Kanpur, that time pro-induced vibration and silent element analysis was fairly new in 75 to 78 period. It was fairly new in India. And my professors used to be the honorary professors in MITs, and of course in my years. And so they were something up to date, and they were the ones who were teaching us. So it was very, very interesting. So we all, of course, it's a university, and then you graduate, you postgraduate, you get a degree. More than that, it all depends on how the professor teaches. So they actually create an interest. So I was so very lazy person that I've always got good professors who possibly universities who always wanted to do engineering and not forget books. So when I was in IIT, for any problem, I used to solve a sixth-order differential equation, and I used to enjoy that a lot. Then came out and joined as postgraduate training in Telco in Pune. To my surprise, differential equation, why? I mean, these are vehicles, there is a suspension problem, shock absorber leakages, bush failures, the vehicle is noisy. Where is this sixth-order differential equation come? I was quite initially depressed that after doing all that engineering, that will happen to my engineering. But then, it all depends. If one gets differentially slow with the method of working, current method of working, you get absorbed in that. But if you determine that whatever you have learned, if you try to implement that in a practical world, you start to get good results. So we used to get graduate training, postgraduate training. So though I was not with professors, but I was always in touch with the fresh graduates. And every time I was the fresh graduates are coming back with different kinds of new ideas, new technologies, new software which are already coming in. But I was always in a product development. So another situation came where we had certain failures in wheel rings. It's a simple wheel ring failure. Those days people used to stick strain gauges, and there used to be a brittle lacquer. You apply that lacquer, run the vehicle. Brittle lacquer used to crack, and so it used to give us a feel where exactly the stress level is maximum. In that spot, we used to place a strain gauge or a rosette and do the measurements. And on that basis, we used to make modifications. I was saying that no, I think finite element method can be very good. So my director, ERC director, he told me, okay, you can do that, but we have to fix the problem. I was very young. The people who were guiding me were very senior people. So they continued doing strain gauging. I was also a part of it. I was learning how to do the measurements and things like that. Parallelly, I was also making the finite element program. Those days, softwares were not available in telco. So I was making the program, numerical analysis and all that. The problem got over in 1.5 months. We had the solution, we had the modified parts from the suppliers, everything got fixed. And after 3.5 months, my program got over. And then, I mean, actually speaking, everybody was laughing at me. Look, finite element analysis is so slow. But what happened? Another luck. With that FEM, I had solved and it had the same solution. Within 3 months, another product of telco, there was a failure of VVGIM. And that problem I fixed in about 2 hours to 3 hours time. That gave us an idea that why not we start a CAE department within. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Sorry. Because my screen is practically blank, so I'm not very sure. Okay. So that's when the CAE and computer department started in ERC. So I was one of those lucky persons when it triggered starting of a CAE department in ERC, which is very, very important. And today, without CAE, we just cannot manage. And as you had said, we were fresh engineers. Telco was making big trucks. We thought, why not something new? So we 3 engineers started a small vehicle, and our director happily allowed us to play with that. He said that we don't know what you need, but you are a training. Go ahead, make something. And it was a very, very lousy looking, very, very basic kind of vehicle with 4 wheels. And as you said, chairman that time, Mr. Sunam Mulgaonkar, he used to visit ERC every alternate Saturdays. So he saw by chance. And then he called, and then that's how the life of the birth of Tata Mobile, Estate, Sierra, and all that product started. And I was lucky to be one of those first few. We were only 3 who started, but later on, when it became an actual official project, the whole ERC was a part of it. And it was probably 100-150 people. But though we were young, but we were the front runners. And I tell you, that gave me such a big impression that yes, young people also can do. Believe me, today I am 66 age. I believe that the young people, those who are coming from universities, can lead important projects. Again, very luckily, in our university, there was only one subject was on vehicle dynamics, and I had read Professor J.R. Ellis's Vehicle Dynamics book. Those time that book was being referred to us, and luckily, while I was in telco from UNDP project, Professor J.R. Ellis came to Pune to deliver a vehicle dynamics lectures. He was here for 3 months, and I had attended that. I was the only person in the whole group who was in industry, who had an access to vehicles, and who was in testing department. So I was that time in a testing department. Telco had vehicles, telco had high-speed track. So everything what he was teaching, again, 4th order differential equation. When he was teaching, I used to come back. Telco used to have holiday on Thursday. So I used to come back on Thursday to plant, drive the car and try to understand what is this 4th order differential equation. And I used to go back to the professor and say, this is what I felt. So he was actually teaching me. that look, how you must feel a vehicle, how you must link this to a theory. So it's again depends on how the professors teach, how the engineers, senior engineers in industry teach, and that gives a very good fundamental. So I was again one of those lucky people who could get the lectures from them. That's a part of my beginning, and I would say that was the base of setting a culture. Since I am sorry, I may disconnect subject from here to there and try to finish as early as possible. Since I'm in product development and these young engineers keep coming, and I always get that the product which I made 30 years back, that time it was probably one of the best in class in the country. When I look at that product, I get a feeling, how come I made that kind of product? It doesn't look good, fit finish is not fine, gaps and flushless is not good, vehicle makes, the engine is vibrating, noise is high, all that. But that time, probably for the product available at that point, it was one of the best. So every time the new refinement kept on coming. And today, we see that the products are much better. I'm sure another 30, 40 years from now, people will laugh at these products. Those days, mechanical engineering was the prime mover. Every mechanical engineer is dominating automotive industries, and they were doing suspension design, body design, trim design, hydraulics, HVAC, and all that. But slowly and slowly, as the refinement became important, lot of electronics, telecommunication, infotainment, they started to come in. And we realized that it is far easier to manage by electronics rather than making a hardware change. Mechanical engineering means hardware change. Refinement on engine means hardware change, which is very expensive and time consuming. So that is how electronics and telecommunication, they started to dominate. We have connected vehicles. We see that it is so easy. It's very complicated to develop, but very easy to manage. That is how things are changing. So what I realized today, even day before yesterday, one fresh engineer, electronics engineer, he was saying, the industry doesn't need electronic engineers and things like that. So I told him that, no, that's not correct. Today we need electronic engineers. Mechanical engineers will make vehicle, ride, AC system, everything good. That's a part of a hygiene today. Everybody who buys a car, they think this is given. Product will be safe. Product will have all these things up to date. But there are electronics, telecommunications, and things like that is now actually dominating on the product. So that's also needed. So these are never, industry never says that you are not required. So this gives me a feeling that there is a very good, dialogue required with the industry. I get GETs. GETs are there for a year and they get confirmed. I find them, they are interested. Most of the boys and girls are interested in automotive because they see it on the road. And when they come to PE, that is product engineering, they realize that, okay, these are the people who are designing and making these vehicles, but they don't have so-called ready knowledge. Industry, what they do is they would spend the time, will invest the money on product development, they will sell it, and there is a return of investment. What happens is, if it takes too much time for us to shape up an engineer, we are business. At the same time, what we realize is, if I have to make every engineering department big and strong, it takes time. Whereas universities are available, engineering colleges are there, they're already there, professors are experienced people. If the universities have good equipment, we can directly use those equipments, especially, polymer technology, rubber technology, steel, and all that. We don't have to do investment for industry. Why should we? Because we have the people available in the market. It is just the, revenue expense. It will not be a capital expense for us. It's very easy. and most importantly, the knowledge base available in the industry, in the universities. And so therefore, I had actually started making a draft syllabus of what I think in industry we need in the area of mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, electronics, and we have a lot of modules in the car. These modules speak to battery management system, engine management system, we call it ECUs. So they're very complex. And if there is any small error anywhere, the diagnosis is very important. How do we do that diagnosis? And what my experience says today is these young engineers are much, much faster than senior people. You said Western world is much advanced. When I was in General Motors, I was a part of Asia Pacific engineering leadership team. We were 5 people who were trying to develop General Motors engineering in Asia Pacific region. So I used to visit China. This is somewhere around 2004, 2005. In China, when Chinese company used to have a collaboration. So I used to go to GM. So therefore, China company, you had a joint venture with General Motors known as SGM and PTAC. They used to treat us expert because they didn't know engineering. They were extremely good in manufacturing. So whenever we used to discuss, I used to have every expat, every foreigner used to have 2 Chinese young engineers used to sit left and right. Anywhere we used to go, they used to go along with us. And my experience was anybody about, I would say 38 to 40 age didn't know product development. And the young engineers, they were very eager to learn. So this, I am talking about 2004, 2005. Slowly and slowly, they have learned. Today, I am in MG Motor. MG Motor is a British company owned by SAIC. SAIC is one of the biggest company in China, and they have n number of big automotive companies. And I very extensively go there. Of course, during the COVID period, our travel is totally stopped. When I go there, I find them different. And why they are different is because the young engineers they learned. Today, when they tell me this is the engineering, this is how you should do, I get a feeling, why not we? If they could do, we can always do. And the starting point is actually relevant university syllabus to give the feel to these students. I'm not saying that they will become expert in universities, but when they come to industries, they already know what industry wants. It's not necessarily OEMs, even at supplier ends. Today, suppliers, they look at OEM, that, okay, OEM will give a solution. Whereas supplier thinks that we are guided by OEMs. Whereas any industry you go, if the engineering departments are interested in doing engineering, and that comes if the so-called participants or a student or an engineer has a background and a passion to do it. So what I was thinking while making this syllabus, that why not create some syllabus which will create this interest in them, and when they come, they link it to what they have learned, they link it to what they have not understood during their period in college, maybe a concept which is not complete. So I was getting this feeling when I was speaking to Praveen yesterday, that this is a good opportunity, that we can do a upgradation of a syllabus if it is possible within these 4 years or 5 years, and at the same time collaboration with industry, and with a very clear project of not only for publishing a paper and it ends there. It will take, now I have published a good paper in international this thing. So idea can go further. I think it's long way, long term. So I see a good opportunity. and I will be frankly speaking very, very open in giving all the feedback what industry needs. One more example I will give you. Sorry, just 2 minutes. One small example I will give you, where somewhere around 99, 2000, when I came back to India, that time Dr. Goenka had picked me up for Bolero and Scorpio, as you said, just to help him for building that product, and I was really interested. We had only one proving ground in India, that was in VRDE in Ahmednagar. And that's under defense. So what happens is there are restrictions. There are restrictions of foreigners traveling there. And because it is only one, every OEM, they go there and test their vehicles there. So you have a restrictions of movement. You can't get inside because you can't see their own latest product development. We thought that we must have more number of, in automotive, there is a thing called string. So that's SIAM, along with SIAM, we decided to make some white paper of more proving grounds. So I was luckily a team. So I was the chairman of that and took a responsibility of designing proving grounds. So those proving grounds have come today. Those proving grounds are in Pithampur. There is one in ICAT, which is in Gurgaon, Manesar. There is one in Chennai. Now you have those proving grounds available. Every OEM can go to these proving grounds and do whatever test you want to do. So the facility is available. Same way, the rigs are also designed, rigs are also recommended. So now these infrastructures are available. But at the same time, even the universities can also invest on some equipments which will generate revenue for them. Hardware in loop, in electronics, hardware is very, very important. Now, every OEM won't invest on that. But if it is available somewhere, I can guarantee your facility will be booked